Hello, I'm Jonathan Cobb with the World Nuclear Association, and today I'm talking to Nitendra Singh, who is from the Indian Youth Nuclear Society.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
COP is nearing the end as we're recording this, so I just wonder, what are your hopes and your expectations for COP?
I would say we have a big hope, and to give you why this is so. So, IYNS, the Indian Youth Nuclear Society, started in 2014, and in 2015 we collaborated with other 40 nuclear associations and French Nuclear Association to sign the Nuclear for Climate Declaration.
Yes.
And that was the first chance where we were asking, okay, nuclear to be considered in the part of solution, and it was the first time where the formal things were put into frame of COP. It was COP28, and since then it has been a big journey, and there has been many milestones where different forums have started to acknowledge that nuclear is the part of solution in that sense. So, and during this time IYNS has also evolved, and we started our activities in Nuclear for Climate, and then we signed the Clean Energy Ministerial for the NEAS Future Initiative for the innovation in nuclear energy, and all these activities was going in India, and as well we collaborating with different organizations internationally, like International Youth Nuclear Congress and ITER and IAEA as well. So all these activities were still in the area of, okay, it will come, it will be recognized, but few recent recognitions like what Net Zero Industry Act being passed in European Parliament, India itself pushing to have a big ambitious plan to have nuclear for their future power generation. Fusion is coming up, and people are recognizing the role of fusion as well. So all of this together, and the recent announcement in the plenary session of COP28, tripling of nuclear pledge, then the US Mr. Kerry presenting the pathway for fusion. All of this give me a hope, I would say, because now at least you are the part of discussion. Earlier it wasn't the case. So in that sense, I would say right now I am in a state of having a hope that nuclear and fusion technologies, they will become a part of the discussion, part of the decision making, and especially we are talking about funding, and all of this will be regularized to make sure that we can have right technology for right kind of deployment, and to have synergies towards climate goals.
I hope so. So you mentioned ITER there. Of course, you work for ITER as well as being
Yes.
president of the Indian Youth Nuclear Society.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing at ITER and what are the objectives for ITER?
Sure. ITER is basically, I would say, it is the resultant of what all the activities has been done so far globally. We have more than 100 tokamaks of already operating. We have experience coming up with laser or linear confinement systems, inertial confinement we say, and all of this together is contributing to ITER. So ITER will be a first of a kind, a plant scale machine which will be operating to give you integral knowledge of how a fusion power plant should operate, the maintenance experience and all of it. As well, it will plan to have a Q equal to 10 demonstration. Means like if you give 50 megawatt of heating power to the plasma to have a fusion, and then you receive 500 megawatt of fusion energy out of it. So we are going or targeting for Q equal to 10, and also to have an integral test facility for tritium breeding blanket or to close the tritium fuel cycle for fusion. So that's what ITER is all about, and right now we have completed most of our civil constructions, and we are in the phase of assembly of the machine. And in addition, ITER is also planning to become a knowledge hub for all those startup culture which are coming into the fusion, and it is investing a lot in different kind of initiative. For example, Infused, which is International Fusion Education Initiative, which was started by ITER. IYNS was one of the founding members, We were the initial people to have this initiative together, so that everyone can share this knowledge about fusion technologies, the plasma, or all sort of things which are required. And IYNS has a big collaboration with ITER, not only for having the outreach activity or fusion infused. In addition, we are doing the fusion education in schools initiative which we are working out, as well as to have internships opportunity for Indian students to come up with ITER. So ITER and IYNS has a big collaboration in that sense. And ITER being a 35 nation collaborative project, India being an equal partner, it's really nice to have that sort of synergies in between.
That sounds great. So, with the ministerial declaration, India wasn't one of the countries that signed, but I know it has got very ambitious plans for nuclear energy.
Yeah.
So, where do you think that India could be in terms of nuclear energy by 2050? And perhaps I could also ask, where do you think we may be with fusion by 2050?
Sure, I'll take one by one these two aspects. For Indian program, in terms of nuclear, India has already an ambitious plan to have most of the nuclear possibility for the deployment as fast as it can, because we must admit that India is one of the countries we require a lot of energy because of our demands, growth as well as population, both are the factor. And of course, if you want to uplift the lifestyle of our people, this is very much needed. But before the deployment, the growth requirement keep on increasing. So this is where India was struggling for long, and India is relying on its own technology, what it has developed, and on its own 3-stage program. In first stage, why 3-stage and why its own technology? Why? Because we don't have a natural uranium resource. What we have is really a low quality ore, which is not really good to have fast deployment of nuclear power plant in that sense. So we need to find a solution. One good part could be a nuclear deal with a different country and different partnerships for the fuel. But other possibility is we have a lot of thorium. So we can work out how we can use the thorium. So India's nuclear program is designed to consider that we have a lot of thorium. So in first stage we can come up with the strategy that okay, you can use it to run a lot of plants to come up with plutonium, for example, and then you can use this plutonium for the second cycle, which is called second stage in the fast reactor cycle, to breed uranium-233 using this plutonium enrichment and thorium, and then in third stage you can use uranium-233. So that's the plan which is India following. Of course, there was a new kind of design called advanced heavy water reactor, which is still being a thermal reactor, not a fast reactor, but having a higher breeding gain. So these sort of things are already in plan. But India has already developed its own 700 megawatt electric PHWR thing, which is now in a fleet mode under construction, already being approved, so it will come in the under construction. So this is one of the model India is already exploring, to have this 700 megawatt indigenous power plant in fleet mode for the deployment. As well, India is considering for new technologies like SMR, because of course power production is one of the goal, but nuclear can provide a lot of things, medical and all sort of activities in agricultural, hydrogen, green hydrogen. India has a big ambition plan for having a green hydrogen. So it's also exploring all those new technology for SMR, for micro reactors and things like that. And they are pushing a lot to have this sort of model as well, where you can have micro and small reactors in specialized zone, or where the requirement is specific, for example like railways having a specific requirement and things like that. So this sort of model is already under evaluation, I would say, and at a really rapid rate, because we are having an industrial cooperation as well. Now industry want to get involved into this sort of cooperation, that we should develop a good synergies in the nuclear power program within the country. For fusion, India is one of the partner for the ITER. So there are 7 partners: European Union, India, Russia, China, United States, Japan, Korea. So India is one of the partner in ITER, and India's fusion program is not like other countries who are having, after ITER they are going for demonstration reactor, we call demo, which is like the replication of near commercial reactor, the reactor which you will put on the grid, but it is not completely optimized. It will be the first of kind. But India is still not going directly from ITER to demo. We want to have another stage in between, which we call SST2, the steady state tokamak 2, to have more experience. It will be more of a kind of bigger than ITER, for example, tokamak, but not connected to the grid. To have more experience, to train your own manpower, to have supply chain very well established within the country. So that's how the fusion plant for India is perceiving for now. So this is the fusion scenario in the country, and globally ITER is setting up a good example by leading the industry and creating a knowledge base in the experience in how we should do the civil construction. What are the challenges? What are the challenges of all first of a kind components we have at ITER? Because you have a very high temperature, 150 million degrees Celsius we are talking about. We have a superconducting magnets, a very massive superconductive magnets, and operating at 4 Kelvin, all of this together within few meters of distance zone. So all these channels, what sort of thing you come up with? For example, recently we are coming up with some challenges with the corrosion effect in the thermal shield and the non-conformity in the big vacuum vessel sectors. So all this knowledge we are trying to share with the companies, so that all those startups and private industry in fusion want to grow, so that all of them can grow together. So this is where the fusion is right now, I would say.
Okay, so some promising work going on there.
Yeah.
So Nitendra, thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck with the rest of COP.
Thank you so much, and wish you the best to you too.